All rise, veuillez vous lever. The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience de la Cour pénale internationale est ouverte. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Good morning, everyone. Court officer, quickly call the case, please.
Good morning. Situation in the Republic of Kenya in the case of the prosecutor versus William Samoei Ruto and Joshua Arap Sang. Case reference ICC 0109-0111, and for the record, we are in open session.
Thank you very much. I see that appearances remain the same. And I also note for the record that Mr. Ruto is in court today.
Your Honor, for the record, we have one addition on the prosecution side, Mr. Ade Omofade, behind me on my left.
Thank you very much.
Your Honor, and from the Common Legal Representative, we also have Caroline Hatzig, the case manager today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I understand that the VWU is in court as well.
Yes, Your Honor. Natasha Schroeder, acting head of operation for the VWU.
Thank you very much. We've been made aware of the incident at the Westgate Mall in Nairobi. There is never a justification for such acts against innocent people. The Chamber expresses its deepest sympathy to the victims and their families and friends, and to all Kenyans in this most difficult time. We are seized with an application connected to this incident. We will not need to hear from Mr. Ruto generally on the facts of the matter, but we may need to hear from him on specific points of clarification if need be. Mr. Khan, you have an application before us, I take it.
I do, Your Honours. Firstly, thank you for convening an hour earlier this morning so that the application could be heard. The flexibility of the bench is appreciated. The condolences also are in order, and of course all right-thinking people express their heartfelt and sincere condolences to those that have lost loved ones, people that have been injured, and most of all those that are living in terror, the 30 or so hostages that remain in that shopping mall in fear of their life. So our prayers and thoughts are with them and those members of the security services that are trying their utmost to bring them to safety and reunite them with their families. Your Honour, the background of this matter is important to the present application. This case was scheduled many months ago, and it was known that the Deputy Head of State, William Ruto, would be here in The Hague. Your Honour, it was also anticipated that as we speak, at the time of the terrorist attack, the President of the Republic of Kenya would not have been inside Kenya because he was due to have been in New York at the high-level week of the General Assembly and the United Nations. Your Honour, because of the requirement of the court for William Ruto to be here, the President of the Republic of Kenya regrettably informed the Secretary General before the terrorist attack that he would not be attending. And Your Honour, I hand up a letter from the Permanent Mission of Kenya dated the 20th of September of this year, so before the attack took place, that detailed Kenya's position as to why it would not be attending. Your Honor, fortuitously...
Mr. Khan, 1 second. At this stage, it appears that we may truncate the discussion on this matter into the first issue being whether or not Mr. Ruto, pursuant to your application, will need to be excused. If that is the case, that may well be a discrete matter that we can take up, and if that is resolved, I assume he will have a plane to catch. And then if that is resolved either way, looking at the OTP's response, which they will also speak to, it may well be that if that is resolved favorably, we may let him go.
I'm grateful.
And then take up the rest of the matter as regards whether to adjourn the matter and why not. It may well be that it's at that point that some of the remarks I anticipate you are heading towards may be made. Consider it.
Your Honour, I'm grateful because it is essential, we say, for the William Ruto to go back. One wouldn't have expected, or the world would have found it intolerable if the President and Vice President of the United States were not in the country after 9/11. Well, this is Kenya's 9/11, and it is absolutely essential for law and order, for assisting the President to resolve the situation, to prevent reoccurrences, to give confidence and security and succor to the families of those that have lost loved ones, that the Deputy President returns home. Your Honour, the prosecution have said that the defence should not use this as an opportunistic support for their bid to have the accused excused from further attendance. We found that most regrettable and scandalous.
Mr. Khan, let's not go there yet. We may have occasion to take that matter up. The question now is whether or not Mr. Ruto needs to be excused, and you say he needs to be because of the functions of his office. Does the prosecution oppose that?
Your Honour, can I just say one thing? The Dean of the Diplomatic Corps of all diplomats in Kenya has informed us, and it's on public record, that he has said publicly, on behalf of all the diplomats of all countries represented in Kenya, that they call upon those that are mandated to have the power of decision in their hands to do what is necessary to allow the Deputy President to return home at this moment. And that's the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in Nairobi. Your Honour, with that, I will leave it for the prosecution, and if necessary, I will reply with the court's leave.
Thank you, Your Honour. As foreshadowed in the filing submitted earlier this morning and a courtesy copy which was distributed yesterday evening, the prosecution does not object to a short and limited postponement of the matter to accommodate Mr. Ruto and to accommodate Kenya in these difficult times. And I would just like to add to the Chamber's expression of sympathy, also the prosecution's thoughts with the people of Kenya. So at this point, we have no difficulty with Mr. Ruto being excused, and we can then debate, as Your Honour has suggested, the appropriate modalities of what befalls the case before the Chamber.
Ms. Nderitu, you are counsel for victims. We would like to hear from you quickly.
Thank you, Mr. President, Your Honours. We made a filing last night, and we would not need to add to that for the time being. We are saying that we have no objection to for the adjournment for a reasonable time. It's a matter that's really
we're not yet. I'm sorry. I see you overcome as well, Mr. Nderitu, with emotion, and that's totally understandable. We will be discussing the second question of whether or not to have an adjournment. Right now, we're dealing with whether to excuse Mr. Ruto from the court, and I take it you do not oppose. Mr. Sang.
Your Honour, if I can just say for the court's management purposes, that, I think even security I can say it. Your Honour, there's a flight at 11 a.m. And that's the flight, yes, I'm grateful.
Mr. Kigen Katwa, counsel for Mr. Sang.
Sorry. On our part, we do not oppose Mr. Ruto's request to travel. We think it is necessary.
Chamber's ruling on the matter is this. In light of the circumstances and the views heard so far, the Chamber does excuse Mr. Ruto from proceedings. For the moment, the excusal is permitted for 1 week only, subject to any further requests that defense counsel may make, if need be, to extend it. We will rise now in order to enable the court clear and Mr. Ruto can depart the courtroom. We will reconvene in 10 minutes to continue the rest of the submissions on this matter.
All right, veuillez vous lever.